Hi, I'm Amari Nicolau.
And I'm Steve Rudzinski.
Welcome to Spoke TV,
your source for local and campus news.
Russia's anti-gay laws have brought LGBTQ issues to the limelight. Elisha Van Maya talks about how these issues have affected people closer to home.
A new Disney show has a character with two moms.
Taylor has two moms.
Nothing gets past you, Bob.
The Grammys had over 30 same-sex weddings.
Are you marrying me? Yes, I
Even without the anti-gay law in Russia, the LGBTQ community has been brought to the spotlight. The new Russian law prevents any form of, quote, gay propaganda to minors. Michael Dale, a political science professor at Conestoga College, shares his thoughts on the law.
When the world's attention goes away in 2 weeks is another question. Whether it will have any enduring legacy is still open. Russia is a conservative society, and the laws are popular.
The anti-gay law in Russia may be a reflection of its current regime, but sexual orientation isn't what defines a person.
Rolando Bencosme, a member of Conestoga College's Gay Straight Alliance, says that is the most important part.
However, when you make it into a crime to be in love, that's just robbing you of your rights. Like, that's terrible. It's inhumane.
For Spoke TV, I'm Elisha Van Maya.
Snowbanks on the side of the road are becoming extremely hazardous for youths after a young boy was killed from playing in one. Brendan Zwombag has more on how people can play safe and stay out of harm's way this winter.
It may be a part of Canadian winters, but is it always this bad? Snow has been falling heavily on our roads and sidewalks, leaving dangerous conditions in its wake. Steve White has been working to keep our roads safe as the general manager of on-site maintenance and believes this has been the busiest season of his 23-year career. He says that part of the problem is the amount of snow, and part of it is the lack of important resources.
Shortage of salt, complete lack of salt. There's times where we just can't get salt at all anymore. So it's really made this a difficult and trying season.
He and his crew have been working around the clock, and it has taken its toll on their equipment.
Anytime you're using equipment in the minus 20 range, things break. Things that normally wouldn't break just break. And yes, we've had a lot of breakdowns this year.
But it's not just snowplow equipment that has been in danger this winter. This stuff is heavy, and reports of heart attacks while shoveling it have surfaced. In a recent storm in Hamilton, EMS responded to 3 different calls of heart attacks within 25 minutes. A 9-year-old boy from Orangeville lost his life while building a snow fort on his day off from school recently. Any accumulating snow piles may be encouraging to young children who wish to play in it, but it is important to exercise caution and be aware when they are. Dylan West is a graduate of Conestoga's architecture program and says that building codes really don't apply to snow forts. But that didn't stop him from constructing his own and giving some tips.
The thicker the wall, the better. You want to build a thicker base and then build your way up to a smaller wall. Kind of rule of thumb is keep it like your head level. I mean, you obviously want it as high as you can, but just to make sure for safety-wise, you want to keep it around your head level.
West also says that you should leave a large opening as the exit just in case, and that kids should always build under the watchful eye of a parent or guardian. For Spoke TV, I'm Brendan Zwombag.
SAD, or Seasonal Affective Disorder, is becoming more recognized as a serious issue. Richard Keys discusses the symptoms and the treatments for this disorder.
Seasonal affective disorder, also known as SAD, is a type of depression that occurs at specific times of year and usually is recurring amongst those who suffer from it.
The exact cause of SAD is still unknown, but many researchers believe that it has something to do with the lack of light exposure during the longer, darker winter months. People who suffer from the disorder experience anxiety, increased moodiness, fatigue, as well as unusually long periods of sleep.
One of the most practiced treatments for SAD is phototherapy, where the subject is exposed to light to help combat the effects of this disorder. A SAD sufferer, Katie Warren, explains what kind of impact this disorder can have on daily life.
Like. So when you're not getting UV rays and you're not getting the vitamin D, then those months are a lot tougher. I find that I am a lot more tired, I'm a lot more irritable, and other people don't tend to like me as much.
Many people were skeptical about SAD's legitimacy at first, but now it is being recognized by more and more mental health services. Councillor Lynn White talks about why this might be.
I think we've just gotten a lot better about people coming forward and not just in the theme or cliche or the trend of beating the blues or having the winter blahs, that it was a significant impact on some people's lives, and we're taking it a lot more seriously.
Some people are at a higher risk of having this disorder, but there are treatments available.
For Spoke TV, I'm Richard Keast.
The City of Kitchener is looking to clean up David Street by renovating the rundown properties close to Victoria Park. 51 and 53 David Street, two boarded up and broken homes overlooking Victoria Park, have been causing quite a stir in downtown Kitchener. Complaints from local residents include burglary, garbage, and possible drug dealing in and around the rundown buildings. The city has ordered the current owners to either clean up the existing property or demolish it. A new development plan called Precedent on the Park would see a new 12-story, 80-unit building built on the site. But because of the constant change of ownership, the plans have continually stalled. There is no telling when or what will become of the property. The new viral video trend called neck nominations is sparking huge reaction from beer drinkers around the globe. Rob Hoff explains the health risks of this dangerous fad.
The online trend sweeping social media, known as neck nominations, is an online drinking challenge where friends nominate friends to consume alcohol in a minimal amount of time. Some feel that these neck nominations are nothing new to what's been happening at college and university parties for years. But others, like registered practical nurse Carrie Rye, feel that it's a dangerous game that has been taken to a disturbing level.
Well, you can have alcohol poisoning, or your body can actually go into shock. So you'll think that you're fine. You have a whole bunch of alcohol at one time, and then all of a sudden it'll hit you.
This trend is believed to have originated in Australia, along with the term neck nomination. To neck an alcoholic beverage means to chug or guzzle it as quickly as possible. Now that the videos have gone viral, nominees are developing more and more creative ways to chug portions of alcohol. Marissa Johnson, a third-year student at Laurier University, explains why she thinks it's just a fun social trend.
Not like any of my close friends were like the first ones that I saw, but then as it soon like kind of started to make its way through, like a few of my friends got it, and I was like kind of hoping like that they would nominate me. And then my friend actually messaged me and he's like, Marissa, like, get ready to be nominated.
But what kids need to understand, as Nurse Carrie Rye explains, is that nobody is invincible.
I think that they don't understand that they're not infallible. I think they just don't. They don't understand that life is very fragile.
The neck nomination trend has been around for several weeks now and is continuing to grow in popularity. But after 4 deaths in the UK that are thought to be related to the neck nominations, police and alcohol charities are speaking out against the new trend. For Spoke TV, I'm Robert Hoff.
Residents and protesters of Kitchener-Waterloo took part in a nationwide campaign called National AntiFur Day in downtown Waterloo last week. Last week, 18 cities across Canada took action against the Canadian fur trade. In KW area, animal lovers held an anti-fur demonstration at Cheners in Uptown Waterloo. They chose Cheners because it is a large retailer of the popular Canada Goose jackets, which include coyote trim on their hoods. According to the protesters, the fur trim comes from wild coyotes who are captured with leg hold traps that crushes the animal's leg or paw. The protesters handed out anti-fur flyers in front of the store, and people that were passing by offered their support.
Shipwreck, a new exhibit at the museum in Kitchener, gives visitors the chance to see actual artifacts from shipwrecks around the globe. Candace Cobbing walks the plank and tells us what to expect from this exhibition.
The Shipwreck Exhibit has docked at the Waterloo Region Museum. Luckily for the region, the attractions in this traveling exhibit had a better fate than in their other voyages and made it to Kitchener safe and sound.
So it was delivered here in 4 tractor trailers, and then we unpacked it and built it into the exhibit you're going to see. The only thing that didn't come in the trucks was all of the gold and silver that came separately via FedEx just before the exhibit opened. This is the SS Republic. It's a model of what the ship probably looked like. It has paddle wheels on both sides. It had been in service prior to the American Civil War, and it went down in 1865, traveling from New York City to New Orleans, carrying passengers and gold and silver coins and a lot of household and very mundane cargo.
The exhibit, which runs until the end of April, is also very interactive. It features Odyssey, which uses a machine called Zeus to discover treasures from the deep sea. Historical interpreter Luke Fundling shows us how it works.
The tool that's on the end of it right now is basically a suction cup, and it is used for picking up gold and silver coins off the floor. You can't use a magnet because it wouldn't pick up the gold, and they wouldn't want to damage any of the metal that they're picking up.
For Spoke TV, I'm Candace Cobbing.
Valentine's Day often means buying gifts and fancy dinners for your significant other, but how much is too much? Kristen Van Eck talks about the increasing trend of spending more money on your loved one.
Whether you love it or love hating it, Valentine's Day has pulled on our heartstrings again. The Day of Love has gotten people thinking what to get that special someone. But how much are people spending this year?
Valentine's Day has turned into a billion-dollar industry. The average person spends just over $130 on their significant other, putting the national spending average at $18.6 billion.
Restaurants are getting on board to benefit from Valentine's Day as well. Local businesses like Krabby Joe's in Guelph decorated to make it more welcoming for couples on this special day. Rebecca Lloyd, a Valentine's Day enthusiast, has been with her boyfriend for a little over a year and a half now. She gave him the full 9 yards, including stuffed animals, chocolates, and dinner.
Got him a little heart, a little chocolate heart, and a little stuffy. And then every day leading up to Friday was going to be a bigger present than the day before, just to kind of, build it up and stuff. And then on Friday, the present was, nice and big and something that he really wanted or needed.
Some couples just have a nice evening alone together instead of doing presents. Dylan McMahon and Claire Collinson have been dating for nearly 4 years and don't usually go crazy on the gift.
We usually go out for dinner, I think. That's a big.
We've never been big on the gifts. We don't do a big gift exchange on Valentine's Day.
This day does have mixed reviews, but what matters are the people you love. For Spoke TV, I'm Kristen Van Eck.
February is Black History Month. The film 12 Years a Slave depicts the dark history of slavery, and Heather Mighton gives us her opinion of the Oscar-nominated film.
I'm a free man, and you have no right whatsoever to detain me.
You're no free man. You're nothing but a Georgia runaway.
It is not an easy story to tell, but it must be told. It is a story that Hollywood has avoided telling for far too long. 12 Years a Slave is both confronting and realistic in its story of slavery in America. It relives a shameful past but shows a new understanding of what happened. Minds can surely be opened and even altered to what they see and feel while watching this film. The film is an adaptation of an autobiography written by a successful African-American musician named Solomon Northup, who lived as a free man until his abduction in 1841. A man who had everything, a wife, 2 children, a home. But in the span of one night, it was all gone. Director Steve McQueen's approach displays an intense reality that this story could have potentially happened to anyone. The star-studded cast includes Chiwetel Ejiofor, Michael Fassbender, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Brad Pitt. But one of the most pivotal roles belongs to Lupita Nyong'o, who plays Patsy, a slave and mistress to Fassbender's character. She gives a gripping portrayal which adds dimension and ferocity to the more typical story of slavery that we have seen in the past. What sets this film apart is that it is not for your viewing pleasure. There is simply nothing entertaining about it. It is a raw, unfiltered depiction of one of the most shameful times in U.S. history. 12 Years a Slave is a film for the ages that tells an intense and emotional story of hardship, survival, and adversity during the height of slavery in the South. The film is nominated for 9 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Actor, and Best Director. For Spoke TV, I'm Heather Maiton.
That's all for Spoke this week. I'm Yamari Nicolau.
And I'm Steve Rudzinski. For more news and information, check out spoketv.ca.